So glad I don't have to play Minecraft Bedrock for a video again. Oh no. So Minecraft Bedrock recently added a hardcore mode, and even though it's the more buggy version of the game, I decided I'm going to do a 100-day hardcore series, which was a horrible idea. If you don't know what Minecraft hardcore is, it's basically a harder version of the game that if you die once, your whole world gets deleted. So with that, let's get right into it. Day 0. Spawn in the world, look around, and mine a tree. Then I make some stone tools and go kill some sheep to make sure I get a bed before the first day. After I got enough wool, I went over to this cave and found some iron. And then I made a shield, and I made this little hut out of cobblestone to make sure I can be safe to sleep that night. Day 1. I went deeper into the cave trying to find some better resources. I almost died to these 2 skeletons. They got me down to 4 hearts. Then I got full iron armor and found this mob spawner. It was a spider spawner, so it's not really that useful. But I found a music disc, and I found my first diamonds just right next to the spider spawner. Then I almost died to this creeper and some zombies, but it wouldn't really be wasting that much time, so it didn't really make me that nervous. I found some more diamonds, but these ones I had to fight for. After mining those, I found some diamonds on the ceiling and decided to pillar up to mine back up to the surface, after getting the diamonds, of course. Right at the end of day 1, I got up to the surface, placed my bed, and went to sleep. Day 2, I started mining some trees so I could prepare to build a house. And then I decided that I want to build my house up on this mountain, so I started mining out this area so I could make it all flat. Day 3, I kept mining out this area so I can make it flat, and then I started building a perimeter so I would be safe from the mobs, because they won't be able to get up to me if it was 2 blocks up, except for spiders. And I built this little fence with a ladder so I could get up, but the mobs couldn't. Day 4, I started mining out more of the outer edge so it would be even longer of a drop. And then I started building the frame of my house, and I finished most of it on day 4, so I started moving all my stuff into my house. Day 5, I started putting everything back into my chest, and then I started building the roof of my house. Day 6, I finished off the roof, and I started making a little farm area to grow some wheat. Day 7, I got some windows in the top of my house, and I also made a little pen for some cows. I got some cows on the same day, brought them over to the pen, and bred them so I can get more. And I finished my house on day 8. It kind of looks like a sad dog, but that's alright. And then I set out and did some more mining, and I made a composter so I could get rid of all that leaf litter that I'm getting from mining. Day 9, I started lighting up these little caves around my house and also started doing more tree chopping and digging around my base. Day 10, I made this little fence for the sheep so I can make a sheep farm. Day 11, more tree mining and digging. Right at the end of day 11, I found a sheep and brought him up and put him in the farm. Day 12, I started building out my base a little bit with all that dirt that I had from mining. I also made a sugarcane farm, but I had no sugarcane. So I set off to find some sugarcane. While I was out there, I found this village, and I took every piece of wheat. And I mean every piece of wheat from that village, even the ones on the side of a cliff. I found a portal on my way back, and I found a lodestone. I'm still not quite sure what these do. Then I mined the obsidian so I could make my own portal, and wow. Look at how pretty my house is. Day 14, I expanded my farm a little bit, and I found out you can bone meal sugarcane in Bedrock Edition, so that's pretty awesome. Day 15, more tree mining. Day 16, more tree mining and building and falling. Day 17, more dirt mining and wall building. Day 18, more dirt mining, this time in the caves. Day 19, more wall building. Day 20, even more wall building. Day 21, even more wall building. Day 22, I yearned for the mines. So first, I started off by getting some coal, and then I found some iron near the top of the cave. Then I ran into these 2 creepers that almost killed me. Luckily, I have my trusty shield. Then I found a 1 vein of diamonds. And then I found this lava pool, so I grabbed a little bit of obsidian so I could make an enchantment table later. Then I found another 1 vein of diamonds. I'm really hoping that maybe a couple more could pop up in these veins soon. I found another vein of diamonds. Maybe this time there is multiple. Oh, 2. Oh, 3. Yeah, there was only 3 diamonds. And then I found another vein. This one was guarded by zombies, so once I finished killing them, I started mining. There was just 1 at first, and then there was another and another. Another 3 vein, though. I found another vein of diamonds. This one was only 1. And then I found this skeleton spawner, which is going to be very useful, because I could use this as a very easy XP farm. Day 23. I mined all the way up and built this pillar so I could see where the skeleton spawner was once I went looking for it again. And then once I got back, I put all my valuables in the chest and I went over to the village to this big cave I found earlier. And I went all the way down, found another 2 diamonds on the roof, and then found another 2 diamonds. Oh no, 3 diamonds. And then look at all this loot that I got. Day 24, I built this enchantment area. I don't know if I really like it that much. I also built this staircase back up from the lower area. I wasn't originally going to build a gate, but I decided to build this little nice gate for it. Day 25, I got 2 bookshelves for the enchantment area. Scratch that, I actually got 9 bookshelves for the enchantment area. Too bad I had to kill a lot of cows for that. Day 26, I didn't really do much, but I got some more sugar cane so I could make more bookshelves. Day 27, I stood here for a while, plotting how I should arrange these bookshelves so it would look good. Finally, I just placed the bookshelf down there, and I finished off the bookshelves. Got myself an anvil and a grindstone to put down. Boom. Done the enchantment area. That means I need some XP. So I went over and built the ladder for the XP area. And then I started mining out and building the skeleton farm. Day 28, I finished the skeleton farm and started grinding for some XP. Then I hit level 30, so I made my way back. Day 29, I enchanted my shovel with Fortune 2 and Efficiency 3. So you know what that means. Time for AFKing. Day 30, level 30. I enchanted another diamond shovel and got Unbreaking and Efficiency so I combined them to make a better shovel. So you know what that means. Time for some more dirt mining. Almost got you that time. Day 31, more dirt mining. Day 32, started placing some of the floor for my farm area. Day 33, more dirt placing. Day 34, more dirt placing, but I finished the little back area. Day 35, I built this wall because I didn't place any torches underneath that part, so there's a whole bunch of mobs. Since I'm not going to use that area, might as well just block it off. Oh yeah, and I almost died to poisoning. Started building more of my wall, which meant day 36, more tree mining. Day 37, building up the wall again. Day 38, more tree mining. Day 39, some more digging. Day 40, more digging. Day 41, more wall building, and then I also finished off the wall, so now all I have left is to build the floor. Day 42, started building the floor. Day 43, I sat at the skeleton spawner. Day 44, still sitting at the skeleton spawner. Day 45, I hit level 30, and I enchant my bow. But all I got is flame, which is pretty boring. Day 46, more floor building. Day 47, some more floor building. Day 48, I ran out of dirt, so I go mine some more. Day 49, start fencing off part of my cave area so I can make a little villager area in my underground. Day 50, I head over to the village and get all these villagers in boats so I can bring them back to my base. Day 51, still bringing the villagers back to my base. Then I finally got them into my base, and I get them out of the boats. Day 52, I tried to get a mending villager, which usually takes a while, but at the end of day 52, I was able to get a mending villager. Day 53, I found this little dog, and I was able to use some of the bones from my skeleton farm to make him my friend. Then I went over and started expanding the farm so I could add some carrots. Day 54, I used all the bones that I got from the skeleton farm so I could grow the carrots and I could fill out all the farm area. Then I decided to make the farm even bigger, and on day 55, I was able to fill the carrot farm all the way. Day 56, I went to start trading my carrots with the villagers, which is able to get me to level 30, which I enchanted this book with Fire Aspect 1. For 30 levels. Fire Aspect 1, that's it. Day 57, more floor building and sitting at the skeleton farm. Day 58, I was able to get efficiency 4 on my pickaxe, and then I went back to the skeleton farm and sat there. Day 59, I lost a little bit of footage, but it wasn't very important. All I did was get some Fletchers, and I also got an Unbreaking villager. So I traded with the Fletchers for some emeralds, and I was able to get enough emeralds for a mending book. Day 60, more villager trading, so I could get an Unbreaking book, and then I put the mending book and the Unbreaking book on my pickaxe, which makes it almost perfect. I just need Fortune or Silk Touch. Now with that pickaxe, you already know, I yearned for the mines. So I went back down to the original mine and I found my little shack from day 0. I was able to make my way down to level negative 54 so I could start strip mining for a while. Like a long time. I also found one of these sparkly places. I'm not sure what they're called. I don't remember. Day 61, I found some diamonds, but they were guarded by a couple mobs, and I got very, very close to dying. And there was only one diamond. At the end of day 61, I was able to find my way back to my house and put away all my blocks, and then also, wow, look at that, 26 diamonds. Day 62, started mining the big chunk of dirt left. Day 63, more dirt mining. Day 64, more floor placing. Day 65, more floor placing, and I'm about to finish all the floor. Here we go. Oh, 1 second, let me just... There we go. All done with the floor. Wow, look at that, so much more space. I was also able to finish mining all the dirt in the cave area on day 65. Day 66, started building a bridge over to the skeleton spawner. Day 67, I finished building the bridge over to the skeleton spawner. Day 68, or did I finish building the bridge? I started putting the slabs here to make it a little bit nicer, even though I still don't really like the oak with the deep slate bricks. But once I was done the bridge, I went down and sat at the skeleton spawner. Day 69, nice. Still sitting at the skeleton spawner. I was able to hit level 30 though, so I made my way back to my base and enchanted my chest plate with protection 4. Day 70, more sitting at the skeleton spawner. Day 71, I enchanted my sword with Unbreaking and Knockback, and then made my way back over to the skeleton spawner. Day 72, I enchanted my helmet with Aqua Affinity and Unbreaking, and made my way back over to the skeleton spawner, which I sat there for a while again. Day 73, I enchanted this book with Feather Falling 4, and then I went and sat at the skeleton spawner. Then I came back up and enchanted another sword with Fire Aspect 2, which means that Fire Aspect 1 book is completely useless. Day 74, more sitting at the skeleton spawner, and at the end of the day, I was able to come back and enchant my sword with Sharpness 4. Day 75, I combined all the swords together to make one mega sword, and then I went and sat at the skeleton spawner. Day 76, still here. Day 77, I'm still here at the skeleton spawner. Day 78, I enchanted my pickaxe with efficiency 4, and my bow with Unbreaking, Power, and Infinity. And I combined the two bows together to make a really good bow. I also decided that I'm done sitting at the skeleton spawner, and I just enchanted my pants and boots with Protection 1. Then I set off to find a spruce tree so I could make my house with my favorite type of wood. And on the way, I found a dark oak biome, which I like dark oak too, so I just grabbed one of these trees and made sure I had enough saplings, and then I set off again. I found an ocean and made a boat and started sailing out. Day 79, still boating, but I found this island here that looks pretty promising. I made my way onto the island, climbed up this hill, and I found a spruce tree, which means I just need a sapling and then we can head back. Day 80, made my way back to the house, planted my spruce and my dark oak saplings, and used some of the bones that I had to bone meal the spruce tree so I could start getting some spruce quickly. And then I made this little nether portal area. I'm not really sure if it's my favorite build ever, but it's definitely functional. And then once I was in the nether, I made this little house around my portal, and once I was done that, I just went back. Day 81 started by getting some more spruce logs so I could start building the foundation of my house. Day 82, got some more spruce. I also decided to make this big spruce tree over by my house so I can get some potsoil or poop dirt. And yes, it looks like poop, but I like it with spruce houses, so live with it! Then finished building the frame of my house. Day 83, started filling in the floor of the main part of my house. I also started building up the walls. Day 84, I started on the roof of the two outer quadrants and finished up my bedroom. Day 85, I built this little staircase up to a second floor. Kind of looks a little weird, but I like it. And then I started building the roof for the main part of my house. Day 86, I finished off the roof for the house and started placing trapped doors around the window areas to make it a little bit nicer. Day 87, I added a little extra detail around the house. Day 88, I caved in and made a whole bunch of lanterns, even though they're so expensive, just because I love the look of them so much. And I placed them all around the house, just replacing all the torches that I had. Day 89, I went and got sand for the glass for my house. Day 90, while I was waiting for the sand to smelt, I added a little extra detail inside, and at the end of day 90, I was able to finish my house. I really like this build. I think it looks really nice. Just let me know what you think. Day 91, I ran out of coal, so I went mining for some coal. I also found this cherry blossom tree, and I just love the noise of these logs breaking. It's so nice. Day 92, I broke all the grass around where there wasn't any of the poop dirt and filled it in with dirt, hoping that the poop dirt would grow all around my house. Again, live with it. Then I started gearing up for the nether. Day 93, the nether. Took one last look around and headed into the nether. Once I was in the nether, I started building a staircase down since I was so high up. Once I made my way down, I started strip mining so I could find a nether fortress. Day 94, I had some trouble with the lava and I almost died. I would have died actually if I didn't eat a golden apple, but luckily I was okay and I kept mining till I found a warped fortress, which meant I could get ender pearls from killing some of these endermen. And then I kept killing the endermen until I had about 24 ender pearls, which then I started mining again to find a nether fortress. Day 95, I found this piglin, and I had a lot of gold with me, so I started trading with him so I could hopefully get some fire resistance potions. I was able to get some more pearls and 2 fire resistance potions, so I headed off. And this time I'm not digging because I found this ruined portal, which I mined the obsidian from, so I could just build a portal back once I found the nether fortress instead of running all the way back. Day 96, more wandering around the nether until I found this bastion, but that's not really what I was looking for, so I ran past it, and then I found this fortress, which is exactly what I needed. I went over to the spawner, and I started killing some blaze until I felt like I had enough blaze rods, and then I built my portal and made my way back to the overworld, which I spawned very deep in a cave, so I made my way out and started boating my way back, which is almost 20,000 blocks. Day 97, still boating. Day 98, still boating. Day 99, I finally made my way back, and I wasted no time and started gearing up for the end. Got rid of anything in my inventory I didn't need and healed up all my armor, which almost took all my diamonds. I threw my first eye right at the end of day 99, and I found this village. And in Bedrock Edition, the Stronghold is usually under a village. Day 100, I threw an eye in the village, and sure enough, it went down. So I started digging, and luckily I accidentally mined a block out and found the Stronghold. It took me a really long time to find the portal, but finally I went down these stairs, and to the left was the portal room. So I broke the silverfish spawner, put the eyes in, and got ready to fight the ender dragon. Once I entered the end, I built up to the pillars with the cage dragon so I could break them. I almost got knocked off by the dragon, but that's okay. I pillared up to shoot the tallest pillar that I couldn't hit from the ground. I got it and then almost died again, but we're okay. Then I built up to the next pillar with a cage, which was the last pillar. Once I got it, I went back down, and that means it's time to fight the dragon. Oh man, I did it. I did it. Just in time. Day 101. Oh, barely made it. There we go.